Good morning. It feels like I haven't walked in ages because I was sick all last week, so it's probably been 2 weeks since I've been here walking. But I'm at Poplar Forest getting ready to walk and then go to the Y and lift. Wanted to share something because it just sticks with me every time I read it. Yesterday, I've been reading through the Gospel of John, and yesterday I read chapter 11. And of course, in chapter 11 is the world's shortest verse. Jesus wept, John 11:35. And that's a cool trivia question answer, but we miss the enormous importance of that verse. So it's the story of Lazarus, Jesus raising Lazarus from the dead. And, excuse me, cough's lingering a bit. And they come to Jesus 3 days before Lazarus dies. He's in another town, and they say, hey, listen, Lazarus is dead. And Jesus was very close to Lazarus and his family. He was one of his best friends. And they wanted him to come and heal him. Well, he was busy doing what he was doing, and he said, we'll be there. And at one point, he even tells the disciples that Lazarus had died. He said he was asleep, but he had died. So Jesus gets there, and he sees all the bereavement of the family. He sees the grief. And he wept. Now, you'd miss the importance of this. This is one of those verses where if you don't know the language, you miss the whole thing. And listen, I'm no scholar. My bachelor's is in religion, but doesn't mean I'm a theologian. The word for wept is splangomatzai. I probably mispronounced it. My theologian friends' heads are exploding right now. But that's the Aramaic word, or the Greek word for it. And it means from the bowels. So when people say their heart broke, this is what that means. This was a weeping that meant that Jesus' inner person, his soul, was grieving. It came from the deepest parts of his heart. It was that kind of pain you feel, grief over the worst events in your life, that your heart just shreds, and the cries come from somewhere else. We can all say we've done that, right? You get to a certain age, you're not living if you haven't, God bless you if you've never experienced that, but it happens. And it was so strong, it was so powerful, that the people that were also there grieving stopped in their tracks, looked at Jesus and said, look how much he loved him. They recognized this grief as Jesus' heart being broken. And they thought to themselves, he must have really loved Lazarus, because look how broken he is over this. Now, Jesus knew he was going to raise him from the dead. He knew Lazarus was going to come out of that tomb. He knew what he was there to do. So I don't believe personally that he was broken over the grief of Lazarus dying personally, because he knew Lazarus' death was temporary. And I've had friends of mine say, and theologians, well, he was broken over the result of sin, because death is a result of sin. I don't think that's it either. Because if that was the case, people die every second. Jesus would be doing nothing but grieving like this the entire 33 and a half years he was on earth. I think what this was is Jesus saw the grief of the family that loved Lazarus, and it broke his heart too. Because the Bible says he came here to experience the things we experience. It says in Hebrews, we do not have a priest who is untouched by the feeling of our infirmities. He understands the things that break our hearts and make us weak. He knows what it is to be a human. That's why he wept. He felt the pain of the other people. It was empathy. There's a lot of comfort in that. If you think about the worst moments of your life, when you've wept and your heart was more broken than ever, I can think of a couple. The night my little sister died. The first time I tucked my daughter in by telephone after our divorce. The loss of various friends over the years. Those things go beyond normal pain and they go into the parts where it just rips out shreds of your heart. And we go through life a lot of times brokenhearted, and we try to gather up all the little shards of our broken heart and just cut our hands with the pieces. And it comforts me to no end to know that not only does Jesus get it and offer us comfort, but he weeps along with us the way we weep. It breaks his heart as much as it breaks ours. God can be scary. It can be like the Wizard of Oz, the flames shooting out, and pay no attention to the man behind the curtain and cowering in fear. But to know that he sent his own son, himself, in human form, and that while he was here, he felt the things we feel, and he's never forgotten that. That's what he went to heaven to do, is be an advocate for us from a point of understanding the pain we're in. Makes me feel a little bit better. Well, I hope you guys got something out of that. I hope that was helpful. All right, I'm going to go walk. See ya.